We're joined now by nutritionist Sally Duffin and Laura Willoughby, who's co-founder of Club Soda, helps people to drink more mindfully. Hello there.
Good morning.
Do you want to start us off, Laura? I mean, this is good news, these sales figures. If people want to have low or zero alcohol products, something's working.
Yeah, and actually we've just opened an alcohol-free shop and bar in Covent Garden, which has over 150 different alcohol-free drinks. So that just shows you the size of this market right now. But yes, people are moderating more, swapping out an alcoholic drink for an alcohol-free drink, which is really exciting.
Have you got a sense, given this is your business, what's the driver?
It's a mixed driver. It's cross-generational, and mental health is a massive driver. So young people probably been teaching us a little bit more about how alcohol affects mental health and anxiety, but also people want to be fitter. People are realising they've probably been drinking a bit too much, and over COVID, people took a long, hard look at their health. It was already a trend, but it's definitely accelerating a lot more with a majority of the population, adult population now, moderating their drinking.
Do you think it's younger people? More younger people? Are you seeing more younger people? Because I just get the impression, just anecdotally, that there are much more younger people who are much more health conscious than perhaps, say, my generation was.
They are, and they're drinking less, or they're not drinking at all to begin with. Whereas my generation, I'm a ladette generation, have decided that you can eat as much kale as you like, but you undo all the hard work if you smash back a bottle of wine in the evening. So you've got some different behaviours going on, but often with mental health and feeling physically better and wanting to live longer and be more present in the world, not have those hangovers. All big drivers. Sugar-free diet is also a really good driver as well.
You know, Sally, we're not here to preach to anyone. It's not illegal to drink. Obviously, you know, but there are health implications, aren't there? What would be the advice for someone who wants to cut back on their drinking, but still enjoys a drink, still enjoys having a glass of wine or a beer?
This is where these low and no alcohol alternatives come into play, because they're that nice stepping stone, because you might not always want a soft drink, which again can be very high in sugar, artificial sweeteners. So if you're having something like a low or no alcohol beer, they're often quite low in sugar. Some aren't, some are much more higher in sugar, but they're still got that look and that taste, and the taste has really improved over the years, so you can still feel like you're enjoying that drink.
We're all in favour of very practical advice on this programme, Sally. So someone's going to the shop today, maybe they've listened to what you've been saying and said, you know, maybe I haven't tried a low alcohol beer before, or one of those products, but they've just heard what you've said about they could contain more sugar. They could. What am I going to look at on the product to know just what it is I am having? I may be content that there's low or zero alcohol, but what about the other side of it? How am I going to know?
So on the label, it will list any artificial sweeteners that are in there. So things like aspartame, for example, that will be listed.
Say that again. I've not heard of that. So that's what?
Aspartame is one of the artificial sweeteners.
And that would be, that's going to be on the site,
yeah,
so I can look out for that.
Ingredients.
And what? Okay. So what's the number attached to that, which is that I should be worried about?
There's not a number attached to the artificial sweetener, but you can look at the sugar content of a drink, and that will be listed under the carbohydrates and then as sugars.
Forgive my ignorance. What's that? A percentage? Is that a what
will
number
be as
is
a gram
that?
Usually, so it may be something like 0.5 gram per 100 ml, or
and again,
some of the drinks will be higher than
treat
that.
me as if I know nothing here, because I don't. What's the figure that I should be thinking that's a lot, and what's the figure that's not a lot?
It's not really as easy as that. If something is... Yeah, it never is.
No, I mean, fair enough, it's not easy, but it's helpful if we can get a steer.
Yeah,
well, there's the daily guide, isn't there, for adults, which is, what, 30 grams?
30 grams of free sugars a day is the recommended daily limit,
right.
Yes, for adults. The thing to remember when you're looking at the labels is the amount is given usually per 100 ml, but you might be drinking a bottle that's 500 ml, so you have to do a bit of maths to see how much you're actually going to be taking in that bottle. So if something has got, say, 10 grams of sugar per 100 ml and it's a 500 ml bottle,
50 grams.
That's 50 grams of sugar. That's going to take you way over that recommended daily limit.
And it's worth knowing that alcohol-free drinks for adults are designed to be low in sugar because that's a massive driver. So next to water, in the pub, the healthiest thing you can drink is an alcohol-free beer, right? 4 ingredients, no added sugar, lower in calories, loads of vitamin B12. Actually, beer's super once alcohol is taken out of it. It's a great drink. So, you know, that's why adult alcohol-free drinks are different to soft drinks. They're not full of sugar.
What's the advice in terms of if someone does want to cut back but doesn't want to stop? I mean, it's kind of, I've asked you this before, but like, what's the best way to approach this?
So maybe looking at what your drivers are for drinking the alcohol in the first place, because if you're drinking because you're under stress or something like that, then you need to be dealing with the stress. But if you just wanted to cut down for health reasons, like Laura said, and that's what a lot of people are doing, then switching to some of these alternatives can be a really nice stepping stone. And they're not all really high in sugar. The example I gave there of the 50 grams, that's quite a rare example. A lot of them are much lower in sugar.
Laura, what about the authorities involved in government? Do you think enough is being done to incentivise, literally in pricing or in messaging, to kind of point people in the right direction?
Well, I'm a big fan of the government incentivising us to drink less and finding ways to do that so we can stay social, because I still want us all to go to the pub, right? They're really important parts of our high street. So I'd be really keen if the government could take VAT off alcohol-free drinks in the pub and bar setting in particular, because you want to make people to make a healthier switch. And at the minute, it costs quite a lot more to make an alcohol-free drink than it does an alcoholic one.
So you're paying the same prices at the moment?
Yeah, generally.
Ballpark, you're
pretty
much
around the same price, and that's partly because it goes through extra processes, it needs more ingredients. Don't forget, alcohol's the free bit of your alcoholic drink, right? We put a high value on it, but it's actually doesn't cost anything. So I'd like the government to do a bit more on that. They also need to clarify some of the rules about what can be called low or no alcohol, because those rules were written such a long time ago that they don't make sense for what is basically a brand new drinks market that is growing right now. So alcohol sales are going down, sales of healthier alternatives are going up. The government should be really helping this trend move faster and quicker and giving it all the support it can, because it's a bit of a no-brainer, right?
Interesting, yeah, thank you.
Should say, the Treasury says our new low alcohol duty system will be based on the common sense principle of taxing alcohol according to its strength, which cuts the duty on many lower strength drinks to meet public health goals whilst providing support for businesses through new tax reliefs and simplified digital
But that's around, you know,
the amount of alcohol.
And that still applies to alcohol, not to alcohol-free.
alcohol.
How is it that we can help what are basically a lot of small producers cut the cost of their drinks so it becomes a cheaper alternative in a venue?
Interesting. Thank you
Laura,
both, all right?
thank you. Sally, thank you as well. Now, it's 26 minutes past 7.